Children, in the previous video we discussed about how a skull was obtained by the workmen who were working in the Neanderthal Valley. What was the positive feedback mechanism? How the development of one part of human body resulted in the development of the other parts, and what were the relative advantages of bipedalism. So all these topics were covered in the last class. Now we will start from the next topic. So around 2.5 million years ago, there started a phase of glaciation. Means the larger part of the world was covered under the glaciers, so it was covered under the ice, and it was not the favorable condition for the forest and other kind of vegetation. Slowly and gradually these forest and vegetations disappeared, and the larger part of the world was now covered with the grassland. As a result, the trees disappeared, so the species of human being, that was Australopithecus, that could not survive henceforth in the changed condition. So another genus of human being originated, which was more capable in living in the changed condition after the ice age, and that genus was known as Homo. Now what was Homo and what were its type, that we will discuss now. Now Homo is a Latin word which means man. So there were different forms of human being appeared on this earth with the passage of time. First of all, we will discuss the Homo habilis. Homo habilis means the tool maker. It was the man who started using the tools, and before that Australopithecus started using the tools, but that was not much efficient. Homo habilis was the first man which appeared in the continent of Africa, who started using the tools for hunting, for gathering, for some other purposes. And its fossils have been recovered from various sites in Africa, that is Omo in Ethiopia and Olduvai Gorge in Tanzania. Next type of the human being which was further evolved from the Homo habilis, that was Homo erectus, the upright man, and its fossils have been recovered from various sites of Africa as well as Asia. It was the man who started the bipedal locomotion, so it was little more advanced than the Homo habilis. The next species of human being was the Homo sapiens. It is also known as the wise or thinking man, and its fossils have been recovered from Africa, Asia and Europe. So you can see that from these three species, the primitive species was Australopithecus, which was only found in South Africa. Thereafter Homo habilis, which was also found in Africa, and from there on he started moving to different parts of the world. Like Homo erectus was found in Africa and parts of Asia, and Homo sapien, which was more advanced than the Homo habilis and Homo erectus, and it was found in all the three continents, that was Europe, Africa and Asia. So how the migration took place, now we will discuss that. Now this is another man which have been recovered by the archaeologists, that is known as Homo heidelbergensis. Why it is named as Homo heidelbergensis? Because its fossils have been recovered from Europe, from Germany, that is the valley of Heidelberg. That's why it is named after that valley, Homo heidelbergensis. Next is Homo neanderthalensis, the skull which was obtained by the workmen while working in the quarry of the limestone. They have recovered the fossil of an archaic man that was called Homo neanderthalensis, because it was Neanderthal Valley, so he is also named after the Neanderthal Valley, and he is called as Homo neanderthalensis. Now what was the difference between Australopithecus and Homo? So Australopithecus was having smaller brain as compared to the Homo, who was having larger brain. Australopithecus was having larger jaws, but Homo was having smaller jaws, which was resembling with the human being. Australopithecus was having more outward protrusion, and Homo was having less outward protrusion. Australopithecus was having the larger teeth, but Homo was having smaller teeth. As a result, the Homo was more advanced version than the Australopithecus. Now what was the center of human origin? After examining different fossils which have been recovered from different parts of the world, we are trying to examine from where he must have originated. After examination of these fossils, we have come to the conclusion that the oldest fossils have been recovered from various sites in Africa. So that signifies that Africa must be the cradle of human origin. It means human must have been originated from Africa because it was having the oldest form of the human being. As a result, Africa is considered to be the original home of modern human being. Now, there are certain theories which are given by different archaeologists, and these theory also signifies that the oldest man appeared in Africa. Now, what were these theories? Some of the theories have been discussed over here, mainly the two theories. One is regional continuity model and second is replacement model. According to the regional continuity model, the archaic Homo sapiens in different regions gradually evolved at different rates into modern humans. It means the archaic man used to live in different parts of the world and he evolved into a modern human being at different rate. As a result, there is dissimilarity which is found in the people of different continents. So this theory is called the regional continuity model theory. According to those who advocate this view, they believe that this dissimilarity which is found in the human being of different continents is due to a difference between the pre-existing Homo erectus and Homo heidelbergensis population which occupied these areas. It means their ancestors used to be different. As a result, the people are also till date different from each other. So this theory is called regional continuity model. Now next theory is replacement model. What this theory tells us that the replacement model visualizes the complete replacement of all older form of human beings which had occupied different parts of the world. And the supporter of this view tells us that there is a lot of similarity between the human being, and these similarities are the genetic similarity as well as anatomical homogeneity. And anatomical homogeneity and genetic similarity tells us that all the human beings are having same kind of genes, so they have evolved from the same kind of human being. It means that all the world has been occupied by the descendant of the primitive man who must have appeared in Africa. They suggest that the enormous similarity amongst modern human beings is due to their descendant from the population that originated from a single region, and that single region is Africa. So they advocate that all older form of the human being have been replaced by the man who had originated from Africa, and he replaced all the earlier form of human being. So this is called the replacement model. Now I am making it more clear with the diagram which is given in your book also. You can see that there are two diagrams. One represents the replacement model, second represents the regional continuity model. You can see that there is continuity from this point to the upper point, but here it is not continuous, rather it is discontinuous. So this is called replacement model and this is called continuity model, regional continuity model. One thing is clear to all the historians, that the earliest form of human being has appeared in Africa. From Africa it must have spread to different parts of Africa itself, then from towards Europe as well as Asia. But then another man who was more advanced from the earliest man, that again originated from Africa, and it replaced all the older form of human being which was inhabiting Asia, Africa and Europe. That was replaced by this new human being, and he occupied Africa, Europe and Asia, but he replaced all the older form of human being. Means this man replaced this man. So this is called replacement model. Second is regional continuity model. Here the first man appeared in Africa and he spread to different parts of the world, Asia, Africa and Europe, and he evolved at a different rate in these parts itself. It means he was not replaced by any other man. Like here it is light blue color which signifies Homo erectus, then yellow color signifies archaic human being, means old human being, and this green color signifies the modern human beings, and these are the indicators which is also given here. So here it is a continuity in the development, but here it is not the continuity. So this is replacement model and this is regional continuity model. Next, this map tells us about the route whatever had been followed by the human being to spread to different parts of the world. The oldest form of human being must have appeared in Africa. From here he must have gone to Asia near the Arabian Peninsula. Through the Red Sea he must have crossed it and he went to the Arabian Peninsula. From here he must have gone to the East Asia, from East Asia to North Asia, and from there he must have crossed this narrow channel of water that is called Bering Strait, and he entered to the North America. From there he went to the South America. Another branch of this man went to the South Asia. From there he had gone to Australia. One branch of the early man went to Europe. So Africa was the original home from where the man appeared and he spread to the different parts of the world. It is also signifying the replacement model. Next, how the early man used to obtain the food. So there are various ways through which he used to obtain the food. First is gathering, then hunting, then scavenging, and then fishing. Gathering was the oldest way through which he used to obtain the food. He must have gathered plants which was eatable, food such as seeds, nuts, berries, fruits and tubers, and he used to look after his family with these materials. Then hunting. When he developed a little bit more, around 5 lakh years ago, he started hunting the animal. Earlier he must have killed the small creatures like the birds. He must have gathered the eggs and small animals like the reptiles. Later on he became quite capable to make better quality of the tools. Then he must have started hunting the large animals and he started the plant hunting and butchery at the large scale. So we have got some sites which gives us evidence about the large scale butchery. One is Boxgrove, that is in southern England. Second is Schöningen, which is in Germany. Another site which is not mentioned here, that is Dolny Vesnis, which is a river which was crossed by the animals in different seasons, especially the reindeer and horses, and that narrow path used to be taken up by them for the seasonal migration, and the early men used to have an ambush over there, and when they were trying to cross that river, they were killed at a large scale by the early men. So that gives us an evidence that they learned how to plan for hunting. Now scavenging. This is also another way of obtaining the food. In scavenging, the carcasses which were left out by different predators, so some sort of food used to be left in that carcasses. So that was foraged by the early men, and they used to fill up their stomach with that left out flesh which was left by the predators. So that was also a way of obtaining the food, that is called scavenging. So these are the various ways which tell us that how he used to obtain the food.